Well, good morning, everyone. This is Jeff with the Dale County Chronicle, and I'm honored to have Ozark Mayor Charles Ward with us today. How are you doing today, Mayor?
Doing well, doing good, and good morning to everyone.
Thanks for taking the time out of your schedule to speak with us. I'm just going to ask you some questions and to just give everyone an idea of how things are going with the city. So let's get right into it. You've been serving as mayor during an important time for Ozark. What excites you most about where the city is headed right now?
Uh, well, I tell you one thing that's excites me about it is I applied for this position, believing that Ozark had some great potential for growth and innovation. Um, uh, you know, I believe coming in, I can offer some best opportunity for revitalization uh, and our community community development. I really believe that we can foster some good prosperity here in Ozark uh, at this time, and that's one reason I kind of jumped off in this. And this all, Jeff, it's all about uh, combination of innovation, community development, and a commitment to a sustainable and inclusivity that makes the city future uh, potential for exciting growth here in this great city.
Yeah. I know we've talked about that before. That there's so much potential here, and that's one of the things you're most excited about. So that's real good. When people who haven't visited Ozark in a, for a few years, when they come back, what changes do you hope they notice first?
Well, it's several things. One is open government. We gonna try to provide easy access to public data. Stuff like that, financial reports, and just try to promote responsible transparency. And I'm keen on that responsible transparency. We also want citizens engagement. We want the citizens, to participate in surveys, come to town hall meetings, uh, go on to social media giving feedback. Uh, and when I say giving feedback, positive feedback, and involve residents in a lot of our decision making because this is their community as well as my community.
Right, and so you want them to be more residents to feel welcome to come to those meetings and be more active in them.
That's right. We want to hear what they got to say.
Okay.
You know, you know, you know, and this is why I'm on that topic. People, we want to hear. We got quite a few that like to complain, but they don't have a solution. If you think you got something that we need to look at, hey, I want to hear it because I tell people all the time it's like putting a puzzle together. And maybe I know how I want to go and what I want to do, but I'm missing some pieces of the puzzle. So some of the information you got might be just what we need to tie it all in together, accomplish what we want to accomplish. And also it's about diversity and inclusion. I know that title scares people, but when I talk about diversity and inclusion, it's ensuring that our government service and a decision making process that reflect the needs of the diversity of the community. Basically, what that means is everybody.
Everybody.
We want to serve everybody in this city, and that's one of the things about what I want, the changes that I want to make, change this community.
Yeah, and I like that metaphor you used about you having the puzzle pieces, and then a citizen with a different idea may have the other piece to help finish that puzzle. I like that metaphor that you used. Um, it really kind of puts it in perspective, you know. Um,
That's
what are some projects happening now that residents may not realize? are going on and that will have a big impact on Ozark's future? Are there any projects currently going on, or are they in development, or what?
Well, since I've been elected, I have been educating myself on the operations of the cities and assessing what our strengths are, assessing what our weaknesses are, and opportunities and future challenges. Because you got to understand where you're at before you can determine where you're trying to go. So that's kind of been what I've been doing. Some of the stuff I've been looking at is the internal and the external challenges. And I assure you, there's a lot of them for us. But it ain't nothing that we can't apply our way through. Uh, Sustainability and resilience. We got to be sustainable. When it comes to bringing jobs, having companies here, it's got to be sustainable. And then
Right.
we got to, we don't want something to just look good. We starting something and then it falls through the cracks. We're going to be looking at, of course, we're looking at economic opportunities and affordable issues. We looking at it's a lot of issues out there. You can have as many issues you want to have, but we got to be able to uh, do what fits the city of Ozark as we continue to grow.
Okay.
So that's and we want to look at the overall health of the community. And when I say the health of the community, uh, the health of the people that lives in the community, such as physical and mental health issues. We gonna have to tackle that because those are not unique to that. Everybody has got those issues, but we really got to look at it and try to fine tune that to come up with some things to help us put us on a better footage in dealing with those issues. And
Yeah.
of course, safety is a thing. Everybody wants to be safe, everybody wants to feel safe, but we got to be proactive in prevention and managing those risks of the city. And it's things that we can do and stuff we always looking at, and all that's very fluid. We must always be looking at safety because that should be first, foremost. Everybody in this community is being safe, and as I said earlier, equality, fair opportunity for all. And when we're talking about fair opportunity for all, that's including the internal business process, the work environment, and uh, structure. The structure of what we setting up. Um, we just we want um, we just got to have. I reckon what I'm trying to say. We just got to have a clear citywide priorities.
Yeah, yeah, and those are some very important priorities because when the residents of your city have when they have good mental health and their mental and physical health and their well being is taken care of, the whole community thrives better. You know.
That's right.
So now moving on to another topic that we touched on a little bit earlier when you were speaking, economic development is always a topic people care about. Are there any opportunities that you see as far as bringing in new jobs and investment to Ozark that you can talk about right now? Or are there some things in the works?
Yeah, we are looking at two or three good opportunities right now. And again, going back to something I said a little bit earlier in this conversation is responsible transparency.
Right.
And this is kind of where I use that word, responsible transparency, is because when you dealing with uh, investors that's wanting to come here, they don't like for us to talk about it out in the open until we get to a point where they know they come. At some point, we will be able to tell everybody. But yes, we are looking at some things, getting some people here trying to create those jobs, hopefully some long-lasting jobs, and we just trying to create that. Uh, we very supportive of local entrepreneurs, those that's trying to start up, come and want to start up with a small business here. to hopefully build into something bigger down the road.
Yeah.
Uh, and then, of course, we're looking at the revenue diversification, and what I mean by that, I want to put us on solid grounds to where we create a revenue stream to reduce us really depending on property taxes and government grants. All them things is good, and that's what we operate off is off the taxes and all that. But you'll love to be able to bring some other things in here that kind of offset some of that.
Right, right. Because then some of that money can be used for other projects, or or other things. And I understand what you're talking about, responsible transparency. Because if you let it out too soon that a business is heavily considering coming, another city may try to swoop in and offer try to entice them to come to them instead of Ozark.
That's
So,
correct.
a lot of people may not realize that, but yeah. So until this deal is signed, it's good to kind of keep things under wraps. So we understand that. Um, uh, so moving on now, what are you hearing most often from citizens when you're out in the community or at city council meetings anywhere? If citizens come up to you and talk to you, what are you hearing most from them?
Well,
About their
I,
concerns or their praises about the city, anything.
you got a little bit of all of it. You got a lot of citizens is proud of where we are and where we're moving. Even though I ain't been in this job since the 1st of November, we have accomplished quite a bit over these last few months, and they proud of that. They proud of where it's going. A lot of places around the city, it's really starting to clean up. It looks nice. You got groups just out there helping to make to beautify Ozark, and it's done caught on all over the city. Now that don't mean we don't still have issues in places, and we do, and we're working on that to clean up these other parts. But we really gonna have a city that we can be proud of when folks come in here looking around about trying to move here or trying to bring a business here. As they say, we want to put our best foot forward.
Right, right. Yeah, I noticed there are multiple groups now volunteering their time on weekends to go out and clean up and help beautify the city of Ozark. So
That's
that's a great thing, I think. And now, if you could accomplish one major goal for Ozark over the next couple of years, or the next year or two, what would it be? One major goal that you would like to see come
of
to
course.
fruition.
Well, one of the main things on the top of that chart is strengthen our economic development
Right.
and use to put us in a strong place to where we can continue to revitalize this city and to put us on strong footage. That's probably the number one thing. Uh, we need a robust local economy to where we can afford to do some of this stuff that we need to do, and that's kind of like number one at the top of my list.
Yeah.
And then kind of on the back heel of that, part of that is I want to revitalize some of our neglected neighborhoods. I said somewhere I was speaking the other day, and I told him, you know, we love to take care of our main thoroughfare. We want it to look good, and rightfully so. But we got to get off the thoroughfare and get on some of them bike streets, because when people come here looking, trying to decide on this city, they don't just ride the main drag. They gonna ride through the back neighborhoods and all. So we have got to revitalize some of our neglected neighborhoods.
Yeah, I understand that. I certainly do. Um, and all right, well, moving on. Ozark is participating in America's 250th anniversary celebration. There will be a major fireworks celebration held on the 31st of the month. Why do you think it's important for communities like Ozark to recognize this milestone in America's history?
Well, I think you need to recognize something that that's good that we take for granted. You know, we're in the greatest country in this world, and you know, we got a lot of rich heritage that we came from. Now, was all of it good? No, it wasn't all good, but I believe we have learned from it and still learning from it, and I think we need to celebrate. We need to understand where we come from, and we need to value our patriotic and our civic responsibility. We need to understand what that really means, and everybody needs to give accordingly. And we must celebrate our history, even though some of it wasn't good. But you know what? Because of what we all came through, is why we where we are now. And if you really want this country to continue to thrive, we must reflect on our mistakes of the past, and let's try not to repeat those. And that's, you know, if you don't remember history, if you
You're
don't
doomed.
reflect on it, it will repeat
Yeah.
itself. So we need to. That's why I think it's very important. But personally, I think it's giving thanks to who we are and what a country that we live in,
Right.
and we just got to give thanks and be thankful for where we at.
Right, right. Sometimes we can take for granted the freedoms and liberties that we have that other countries don't have. Um,
That's right.
so, all right, now let's move right along. Okay, yeah, the city recently planted a liberty tree over at the Ozark Civic Center. What does that symbol mean to you personally and to the city?
Okay, first off, the tree, we just had the ceremony at the Civic Center because of the weather. And trees planted at the farmers market, right?
Okay, the
Uh,
farmers market. Okay.
yes, sir, at the farmers market. That's where we were actually going to plant it because of the weather. We moved all the uh, ceremonies inside the Civic Center, right? But it'll be at the farmers market there, right off of East,
East Avenue.
right, just off of East Avenue. That's correct.
Okay,
But
so well, I'll have to go by there and take a picture of it. It's already been planted and everything.
yeah, it should already be planted.
Okay, good. Yeah, and so what does that symbol mean to the community, or what do you think it should represent?
It,
Um,
it, it, it should represent who we are as a country, who we are as a community. Like a seed that started that tree, it grows and grows and grows, and we all must continue to grow in this community. And I think it's just a reminder, like I said earlier, it's a reminder of where we came from or what we can become
oh,
as we work together and move. You know, from a seed to growing to a full grown tree to a big tree. And it's just a symbol that represents the freedom that we all have here in this great country and this great community.
okay. Well, that's nice. All right, I'm gonna move along. What has surprised you most about being mayor that you didn't fully anticipate before taking office?
Well, I don't know if it's surprising, but it's a lot more people, you know, have concerns than I realized. Don't get me wrong, I knew it was a lot of them out there just because a lot of concerns and a lot of things that people want you to look at. And I probably one of the biggest things I have learned in this new role is it's just a lot of lack of knowledge. I reckon I could say, you know, people can't understand why this is this way, that way, whatever, and it's quite a few that just really don't know. And so I try to do everything in my power to sit down and explain it to them and tell them. But then at the same time, when I don't know, I tell them, look, I don't know. That's a good question. I have to look into it. Uh, but that's probably just everybody's wanting something done, and it's a lot of it done. And I try to do what I can, and us, you know, us as a city. But you know, you have to prioritize
Right.
stuff. And I tell people all the time, you got two sets of problems. You got your needs and your wants, and we got to get those needs out the way first, and as we start filtering over into the wants.
Yeah. Then you can move on to the wants.
That's
Okay.
right.
All right. And what's your favorite part of the job?
Just being able to help. Just I love people, love talking. Anybody that knows me know that to be the truth. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, it's it, I just love being around people and just trying to help. You know, for them to see the big picture, help them to understand that. So that's probably the best part of it. And too, you know, when you get through talking to people, you know, they say, well, you know, I appreciate that. Now I got a better understanding on how that works, and that's probably where I love the most, just being able to help folks.
Okay. And what's tell us one thing that the residents may not know about you outside of City Hall, like maybe one of your hobbies. What do you like to do when you're not taking care of us at City Hall?
Let's see. Well, I got hobbies, but I'll be truthful. I hadn't done none of them here
Haven't had
lately.
the time.
Still at the time, but I'm gonna get back in it. I got into bee raising bees.
Oh, that's
Uh,
neat.
yeah, a little over 3 years ago, and so I enjoy that. It's just fun to watch bees and watch how it works and all that stuff. So I kind of enjoy that. I enjoy fishing when I get a chance to go, but that's kind of what I do, and then just spending time with grandkids
Oh yeah.
and just enjoying my family. So that's kind of what I do when I'm away from doing
All
uh,
right.
city stuff.
All right. Well, that sounds nice. Yeah, I've always been interested in beekeeping. I just never got around to it. I have a neighbor a couple doors down who keeps bees, and I've always just been interested, and I'm gonna have to look into it myself. But before we go, do you have any kind of final message or anything for the people of Ozark about the future of our city? Are there any closing remarks you'd like to make?
Yeah, I just probably just look. Ozark is a great community, uh, and I do believe it of a bright and vibrant future for Ozark if we can all work together. You're gonna hear me say that a lot, and that's what it's all about. Is everybody trying to work together, and we're gonna build a future here where everyone in the city can thrive. I want everybody to thrive, not just a